Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we will be having a special guest in the data industry. His name is Shashank. So if you guys are looking to actually explore your career in data engineering or data background, please listen to the whole podcast because he's going to share amazing resources, amazing insights, and also if you're looking to move into data engineering from software engineering, then this video is perfect guidance for you. And on the same hand, feel free to subscribe to the channel because I'm going to bring you amazing podcasters or amazing people who are coming across the globe to share their experience. And this channel is for you guys. So please show your love, comment on it, like on it, and reshare on it because this channel is going to be a resource for a lot of guidance across the globe in multiple areas. Thanks again. Listen to the whole video.
Hey, hi Shashank, how are you doing?
Hey Nikita, I'm doing good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks a lot for coming on my channel. And I think today you will be sharing your valuable advice around data because I am also from a data background and I would love to welcome you on the channel because there are so many people, like being a recruiter myself, I get reached out by so many job seekers on day-to-day basis regarding this particular topic. And with your experience, your insights and exposure, I think this will add so much value. So we would like to kickstart with your experience. If you can share a little bit more about your background, what you've been doing till today, your journey, that would be great.
Sure. First of all, thank you so much, Nikita, inviting me. I know we did a couple of podcasts together, and glad the table has turned now. I'm on the other side. So again, thanks for inviting, and for the people who are watching me for the first time, myself Shashank Mishra, and currently I'm working as a data engineer on a senior level, basically at Expedia. It's almost been 6 years in the industry, and I started my journey in 2017 itself. I completed my MCA from NIT Allahabad and had no clue what I would be doing and didn't invest too much into the dev skills. So the typical mistakes as a student we make, right? We just are stick towards the curriculum, CGP and all those things. So same thing happened with me. Started as a software engineer, worked in a service based company, got to know about big data in my first company, and thanks to the different teams who are working. And I think that's the beauty in the service based companies, you got to know about multiple domains. So when I was able to figure out what I would do next in terms of my career, and I was able to figure out data engineering is something which I will definitely enjoy a lot. So I took a
Mhm.
move in Paytm, and officially in 2019 January something, my journey as a data engineer started. So
Wow.
was there for 1 year and then tried consulting as well, was in McKinsey for 4 5 months, then Amazon for 2 years, again data engineer role, and finally here. And
Wow.
during the COVID time itself, I don't think I should thanks COVID, but in terms of my passion for the content creation, this is something which I figured out during the COVID time when lockdown
Mhm.
happened and everybody was at home. That time I started my content creation journey on LinkedIn and YouTube
Nice.
both. So that's the journey so far.
Awesome. I think this your journey from working in consulting space, then big tech, and then like service-based companies, it's like awesome. It's kind of really inspiring. And obviously, on top of it, you are also doing content creation. So people, all the audience who are kind of viewing my channel and this particular video, please go and check out Shashank's channel. He's an amazing podcaster, and also on the same hand, he writes amazing content on LinkedIn. I've added the links in the description. Please go and check out. Moving on, I did checked out your profile, and you also mentioned that you worked in different these companies, different fields in different areas, and you started as a software engineer, but actually you slowly moved from software engineering, if I'm not wrong, to data engineering. So,
Yeah.
to everyone or to the audience or people who are reaching out to me and asking me, I would like to ask you this question because I have seen this as like a standard problem that a job seeker is applying for software engineering and data engineering with the same resume. So if you can tell us the audience that what is the difference first of all, and why these two roles are like different roles, and even if they are connected, then how they are connected, and then what was your journey in moving from software engineering to data engineering?
Sure, and I think that's a good question as well. So, talking about this resume part for these two profile SD and D.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
they are not exactly same, but their skill set somehow overlap. Their
Got it.
methodologies, their like work culture and all these things definitely overlap, because data engineers are someone who also solve the complex engineering problems, but that too around the
Mhm.
data. But when we talk about software engineers, it could be front end, web development, Android, iOS, these things. So that is the only difference. But in terms of the resume part, I think
Yeah.
that is something which should be like to the point, because my experience, if I talk about these different companies I worked with, the service
Mhm.
base and Paytm sort of startup
Mhm.
culture, then consulting, McKinsey, Amazon, these things. So
Mhm.
in the beginning, right, if you are, let's say, complete entry level freshers, then
Yeah.
these things will not be noticed that much, right? Because you are entry level fresher, you are getting a good grip on maybe software engineering or data engineering. So
Mhm.
there, if you have mentioned your software engineering skill set and you have a very basic knowledge, and you have mentioned basic skill sets of the big data, that would be completely fine. Still you will get good opportunities, interview opportunities for the data engineering role. But when it comes to
Yeah.
mid level experience, right, where you
Mhm.
have completely decided that you will approach the data engineering and that is the your career finally, right? So
Yeah.
then it becomes very important, if you are targeting the good product based companies, right, if you are
Mhm.
targeting well established companies, then your resume will play a
Yeah.
very important role with respect to the skill set, the projects which you
Mhm.
have mentioned. Because let's say
Got
you
it.
worked on the software engineering side and then taking a transition, then
Mhm.
for a mid senior role it will be little hard. They would expect
Mhm.
you to have some sort of industrial experience. So
Sure.
maybe you can seek those opportunities in your current organization if other team is working on those kind of
Mhm.
thing. But it should be to the point with respect to data engineering, mention those skill set. And
Mhm.
I did that basically when I was moving from Paytm, because till
Yeah.
Paytm I was on this phase, entry level fresher. Then means by resume played very important role. It got shortlisted in
Mhm.
McKinsey and Amazon type of companies, and few other
Mhm.
companies from where I got rejected, right, as well. So that's what means, I would say the data engineering related skill
Yeah.
set gave me good
Got it.
advantage rather than mentioning too much around the software engineering.
Got it. So then my question goes back to the part of like, do you really need like a proper degree in data engineering to get into data engineering? Because you did kind of did that transition, and you were
Mhm.
able to kind of get the role from software to data. But for people who are maybe you can say new grad freshers or people who are working as software engineer and they are trying to transition into data engineering, what are some of your advices? And can you also share like a path that they should follow in terms of like any books recommendations, any obviously I would recommend people to go in through this channel because we do share a lot of advice and a lot of things around data. But what according to you is the right way to kind of move to data engineering?
Yep. So talking about the degree part, right? That is something which is not at all required in terms of any specification. If you are looking for, we should do this or that, not at all. Because I am from the MCA background, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I have even seen people. I have done podcasts with those folks who are completely non-tech and even belonging to, let's say, MBA background, BCom background, right? And
Mhm.
proper non-tech, let's say BTech streams, right? So I have seen those folks also moving into the data engineering field, and let's say working
Mhm.
professional who were in the QA field, right, quality analyst,
Mhm.
or in the DevOps, these kind of folks I have seen moving into data engineering. So in terms of
Mhm.
educational background, no constraint on that part. And talking about the transition or how to kickstart your data engineering journey. So as I
Mhm.
said, few things definitely overlap with software engineering, because we will also solving
Mhm.
the complex engineering problems. So as a
Got it.
fresher, at least you should have a really good command on the programming side. That is very much required. The Python, Java, Scala, any of it you can pick and start with it. The good part about the data engineering is that the DSA, right? Because software engineering profiles are those profiles. If you're targeting good product based companies, the level of coding questions would be really good.
Mhm.
Basically, the highest or the toughest level. But when it comes to
Got it.
data engineering, the company's expectation more about your you can say dev skills around the data pipeline design, solving those problems, rather than too
Mhm.
much into the DSA part. So even if you are good
Got
till the medium level of DSA, you are good to go.
it.
Then coming to
Got
the like data storage, where your database is transactional and no SQL will play a very important role. So companies do expect you to have a really good understanding of it as well. And one thing which is like a bread and butter for all data professional, including data engineer, data scientist, analyst, BI engineer, anyone, that is
it.
SQL. So SQL will have somewhere around 30 to 35% of weightage in your interviews.
Mhm.
And SQL is something where companies would expect the easy, medium, and even the advanced level. So there you need to put a lot of effort. So this is something which is the common, your base, your fundamental building blocks. Now coming to the specification part, where your core, your strength should be big data, right?
Mhm.
Complete understanding of big data, how distributed framework, distributed storage, and distributed computation, all these things work, different data files, formats, this part. And then the data related ecosystem, the data related frameworks, batch processing,
Yeah.
real time processing, Hadoop, Spark, Kafka, Flink, right? These are the typical framework which you will be using time to time in order to build the scalable data pipelines. And once this part is done, the things which can add a plus in your profile, and
Mhm.
it can give a great advantage, right, to stand out from the crowd. If you have a
Mhm.
good understanding of scheduling frameworks like Airflow,
Got
Azkaban, this is there. And talking about the cloud, with the cloud plus big data, match made in heaven, right? So
it. Mhm.
anyhow, if you are able to explore these things by your own, not
Mhm.
100% completely, but somewhere around 50-55% as a beginner, that would add a
Mhm.
great advantage in your shortlisting and even in your interviews. So this is what I would recommend. It's a simplest path. I have
Mhm.
not elaborated it much because every segment has
Mhm.
a like subtopics as
Different
well.
topic.
So you can
Yep.
definitely check it out. I have created those kind of extensive roadmaps which will be helpful. But overall,
Sure.
this would be the like shortest
Yep.
path for you.
Perfect. I would love to add the links of those videos which you have created, Shashank. So feel free to pass it along to me, and I'm happy to put it in the description section.
Sure.
And the folks who are listening to Shashank, please do check out those videos because that's going to help you really to break into data engineering. You did mention about like going through in terms of different topics and like focusing a lot about SQL, which is obviously I have also done when I was a data analyst and even engineering. There are so many resources out there, but on the same hand, do you want to recommend like 4 or 5 resources specifically on SQL or main on the data engineering side that someone
Mhm.
can at least start with and with the basic foundation clear?
Sure. So few things I can definitely point out. I mean,
Mhm.
when it comes to core big data part, so mostly the big data related content or the knowledge which I got, that was truly
Yeah.
from the blogs and the few specific YouTube channels which I always preferred. So
Mhm.
Edureka has provided really good long hour content around the big data
Mhm.
frameworks on their channel. There
Mhm.
in Telepat as well. And one YouTube channel which I always prefer and I even
Yeah.
admire him, the Learning Journal. That's the YouTube channel name
Mhm.
by Prashant Pandey. He is
Mhm.
a veteran in the big data domain, right? Has
Nice.
even courses on Udemy, but I always prefer his YouTube channel. And along with that, the blogs and articles, right? Edureka have their blogs
Mhm.
as well around the
Yeah.
big data. D Zone is there. That is also a
Mhm.
blogging website.
Mhm.
Data Flare, I also prefer the blogs by the Data Flare around the big data.
Mhm.
So those are few
Mhm.
specific resources.
Yep.
Coming to the programming part, you can refer the channel named as the Programming with Mosh, and is
Yeah.
specifically looking for Java kind of programming languages. Then Durga Soft YouTube channel and
Mhm.
Telescope by Naveen Reddy, that you can definitely
Yeah.
prefer. And
Mhm.
specific to SQL, so you need to learn it in bits and pieces. Honestly, I also
Yeah.
learned it from bits and pieces because there is no like very dedicated resource about it as of now in terms of the
Mhm.
practice or like a
Mhm.
complete package. But how you can go ahead with this first, just go through with all the topics, get a good understanding of it. You
Yep.
can refer Java T point, tutorials point is there. So
Mm-hmm.
once you are comfortable with the topics, their understanding for the practice part, I would suggest
Yep.
to refer the Hacker Rank and Lead Code. They have the easy, medium, hard level of SQL type of question. You can refer it. And also one of my friend, he also started his website around the SQL, that is Data Lemur. So you can also
Mm-hmm.
refer that one. Good practice questions, basically interview level things.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something which
Yep.
I would recommend around the SQL and other resources which I talked about.
Awesome. I think these resources are so amazing. I think they are going to help so many people. I think thanks a lot, Shashank, for sharing. Like they are like a bundle of resources you did share. So thanks a lot for sharing all those resources with our audience and with us. Coming back to the part of layoffs and the current market, as you know, and as everyone knows, layoffs are happening across the globe and people are losing jobs. So in this current market, what is like the scope of data engineering? Like, do you think companies are still hiring data engineers and people who are looking for opportunities, they should still target data engineering roles? So, what is your take or what is your like insights on this particular topic?
Uh, yep. So layoff part, obviously it's pretty hard, right? The way it actually happened. But one thing I personally observed, right? The people who got laid off, specifically
Mhm.
talking about the data related job profiles, that
Yep.
was very less, right? I have seen
Wow.
people getting laid off from the product management, project
Mhm.
manager, TPMs, from the you can say hiring teams, right?
Yep.
And managerial level, software engineering, these kind of roles I have seen, but
Mhm.
I have seen a very very less number from the data related
Data.
job profiles. And reason is very solid, right? We all know the dependencies, the company, every
Yep.
company is moving
Mhm.
towards the data driven business decision. That is
Mhm.
the need, because if
Mhm.
you, or even as an organization, if you want to sustain in the market and you want to compete with others, right, you
Mhm.
have to evaluate yourself. You need to take the
Yep.
smart decisions. You need to work on the facts and the data driven points, and that can
Yep.
only be done with the help of these people. Data engineers
Mhm.
will be there, and I always call data engineers as the frontliner, because the company who is working on these kind of big data solutions, they are the one who will be in the front and solving those data related engineering problems. And once
Yep.
that systematic and transformed data is within the system, then the job
Mhm.
of the data scientists, data analysts, BI engineers will actually start from there. So you can even
Got it.
understand the dependencies on the data engineering folks, and
Yep.
companies need them, right? Like I don't think so that you need to doubt on that part, the future of data engineering, and whether companies will prefer us in coming 1 or 2 years or not, because I have seen my organization itself hiring aggressively for the data engineering folks and others as well, right? I have seen people
Mhm.
getting good job offers. I recently interviewed a lot of folks. So yes, demand is there. It's just all about the right
Yep.
skill sets.
No, I think you are 100% right. And I will also suggest the people to explore data engineering. And obviously, in data, we have different like roles, like including data analyst, data engineering, then data scientist, and various other marketing analysts. If you are looking for an opportunity in data and you want to explore, feel free to go because I agree with Shashank 100% that data is one of those industries which every company needs, whether they are startup, whether they are a big tech company, and demand for data people won't like decline.
Mhm.
I would like to like have the last question discussed, and this question is like very, very important because after hearing this podcast, I'm pretty sure audience will go out and start exploring data side. But on the same hand, I'm pretty sure they would be curious to know that this is like a question which I hear from people who are looking for a career change that in the if we go from this software engineering particularly to any other field including data engineering, is it going to pay us a lot? Is it going to pay us the same? And what is the pay scale in this particular area? Because a lot of times people don't change their industry. They keep on becoming like software engineer with the mindset that software engineering pays you really well. So on that
Mhm.
area, what is your like insight in terms of the pay part? And if you can share a little bit more about the ranges, what people generally get when they actually go as a data engineer.
Sure. So, salary part again, very important topic to discuss.
Yeah.
So, talking about the salary ranges or the second half of the question, like the pay
Yeah.
part for the software engineers versus data engineers. So, if somebody would have asked this type of question maybe 4 or 5 years back, then there was a huge gap for sure, right? Because data related jobs were picking up in the market, right? Not very hot, and
Yeah.
still software engineering was ruling, and software engineering will rule forever, right? Software engineering is not going anywhere. It is all
Yeah.
about time to time we know
Mm-hmm.
the penetration towards the internet, and
Yeah.
in the modern tech world, if we consider this digitization part, right, everybody is
Mm-hmm.
using the smartphones, smart applications, all these things.
Yep.
So the growth of this volume of the data use cases, all these things are also growing in a very very rapid pace,
Mm-hmm.
and you need smart people, smart data engineering folks in order to solve those kind of complex data related
Issues.
problems. So
Yep.
that means engineering complexity, software engineers are also doing the same with respect to other web applications. So
Yep.
nowadays there is no, you can say, even thin line or a gap between the pay scale of a software
Mm-hmm.
engineer and a data engineer. So talking about my experiences with respect to data engineering salary, when I started in service based company, I was just a software engineer. I was earning somewhere around 6 lakhs per annum. But when I took my first move in 2 years, right, I'm talking about the 2019 beginning, in Paytm I was getting somewhere around 13 lakhs per annum as a data engineer. At that time it was
Yep.
definitely a good start, and I was also learning because as a fresher I didn't knew many hacks around the salary negotiation and all these parts.
Mm-hmm.
So I was also still learning. But when I moved into the McKinsey, it went up to 20. But when I moved into the Amazon, right, then
Yep.
including all my bonuses, including my stocks part, it went up to 60, 65, right? But
Wow.
now I'm on the senior level, and you can understand my experience as well. In till
Yeah.
Paytm, I was 2 years experience.
Mm-hmm.
When I started with Amazon, I was around
Mm-hmm.
3 years or 2 months something experience, right? When this package happened,
Yep.
and now like the six
Mm-hmm.
years in the industry, and this is touching the 1 CR number. So
Yep.
you can understand the pay scale, right? There is no
Yep.
bar, right? If you have the
Mm-hmm.
right skill set, and again data related job profiles are really hot in the market, and especially coming to the
Yep.
data engineering, as I said, they
Yep.
are the direct overlap. There is a direct overlap
Mm-hmm.
between the software folks and the data engineering folks. So in terms of
Mm-hmm.
pay scale, you can expect really good numbers.
Awesome. No, thanks a lot, Shashank, for openly sharing your salary. I mean, at least the range. And uh, everyone, whoever is listening to this podcast, if you want Shashank to come back on the channel and share his experience on the salary part, because he did actually shared how he went from 20K range or 20 lakhs range to actually 60 lakhs and even more. Please add your comments in the comment section, because that will help me to understand that you guys want Shashank back on the channel. But thanks a lot, Shashank, for sharing so many like insights and so many areas around data engineering, because this industry, according to me, is still very untapped, and people are still not clear that why and what is the reason that they should actually move from software engineering to data engineering. So thanks a lot for coming on the channel, and thanks a lot for sharing those things. I hope it helps everyone. But last but not least, Shashank, do you want to say any like last sentences or words to the people who are listening to you today?
Yep, sure. So, just one personal advice, and maybe it will be much more helpful for all the beginners. So,
Yeah.
do not just blindly follow, let's say, data engineering or data science or data
Mm-hmm.
analyst related
Mm-hmm.
job profile because someone
Mm-hmm.
like me or you heard about it, or just because of the hype. If you are following something, it may cost you, right, a lot.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
is a honest, you can say, suggestion from my side, because I have seen a lot of people randomly picking job profiles and exploring it because they got to know that this job profile pays a lot, right? They will earn a lot. So do not just go with that fact. First you should prioritize your interest, right? I kept on talking about, like, on my YouTube videos, LinkedIn, wherever I get this opportunity, I always emphasize on this part: prioritize your interest. If you actually enjoy data engineering, go right in that direction.
Mhm.
If you enjoy software engineering, go in that direction. Same data science, data analyst. But first, try to figure out what you actually like. Take time for it, right? Do not in a rush that quickly you want to start something and going for
Yeah.
like 1.5 lakh courses. This is not the correct approach. So prioritize your
Got it.
interest, and once that part is done, focus more on the learning by doing part, because just gathering the theoretical knowledge and you are just preparing yourself for the interview perspective is not going to help you, right? It will be hard
Yeah.
for you to survive in the
Yeah.
job. So I always prefer this part, like try to be a job ready rather than interview ready. So these would be two honest advices from my side. And thanks so much,
Yeah.
Nikita, for inviting me. It was nice talking to you again. I personally enjoy it, and I hope whatever experience I have shared about data engineering, software engineering, it would definitely help a lot of people. Still you have doubt,
Yeah.
feel free to share your thoughts and opinion in the comment section. And do not forget to subscribe Nikita's YouTube channel. She is doing great work. And yes, do like this video and share it with your fellow friends. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shashank. Thank you. Thanks a lot.